Welcome back.
Yeah.
We talking about the book bag. We talking about our experience in the PRC,
Bay Bag.
the Middle Country.
The only person that I still talk to from Bay High, Lucian.
Shouts to Dave and Greta.
Yeah.
The
Medicine
medicine bag.
The medicine bag.
The medicine bag, yo.
Yeah. Check it, y'all. You know something? A.black and I, we've had this conversation and we shared it with you guys, our listeners. Wonderful conversations about health and wellness, comprehensive conversations about health and wellness. And one of the things that's a real big characteristic of our time here has been improvements in health.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I came back, so I was blessed to do a lot of healing my first time here. And as a result of that healing, I was able to be empowered in ways that I hadn't been empowered in a real long time. Went back to the States and tread water for a while. Swam upstream, as you could say, and then just said to myself, China was so good to me, so good for me. And it was so good, it was so great for my health in ways that maybe I suspected, but couldn't conceive. So I had to run it back. I had to double down on it. And when I came back, I'm so much healthier in so many ways, man.
Tell the people.
Because of my relationship to, massage therapy, and I really became a massage therapist because as a child, before mixed martial arts was mixed martial arts, a lot of you people out there, you don't know. If you don't know, Bruce Lee is the father of mixed martial arts, through the Dao Jeet Kune Do. And I was one of those people who I was raised in an environment and in a generation where, Bruce Lee was like my Sifu by proxy. And even though Bruce Lee was born in the States, a lot of people don't know that part. He's born in San Francisco, raised in Hong Kong. But the thing is that there were so many things in my life that came from China that were good for me.
Yeah.
That I felt like going to the source was the thing to do.
Same for me.
Yeah.
Exact same.
Break it down. Let me educate us, my brother.
Yeah, man. Always been into martial arts since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I've never been a violent person. I've never been a person that wanted to fight, went looking for a fight.
Right.
But I did.
I can't say the same. I've slapped. I like to think that I never slapped up anybody who didn't deserve it, but
Right.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
But for me, I always believed in hero stories,
Woo!
and leaders, and people, and
That was fire right there.
Yeah, I've always believed in the hero story. I've always believed in a leader, and that's the kind of person I want to be.
Right.
And so martial artists, they have an honor, they have a code. A lot of times, especially in Bruce Lee movies, he never starts the fight. He finishes a lot of them. He's really good at finishing them, but he never starts the fight. He never goes out looking for a fight, and it's always in pursuit of justice.
All right.
And as an Afro-European diasporic individual, the 80s.
Right.
That's the shouts to the 80s.
The 80s.
Shouts to the 80s.
Yeah.
That story,
real 80s babies through all generations.
that story resonated with me, and martial arts stories always resonated with me because it's always about teamwork. It's always about leadership. It's always about justice, and it's always about discipline.
So I feel like you and I in some ways are like naive, benevolent victims of Hollywood. when I hear you talking about this stuff, right?
Because that's the image, right?
Yeah, it is. No, it totally is. And in my mind, I was thinking to myself, right, because we heard those stories about Bruce Lee thugging it up when he was younger.
Oh yeah, he definitely was.
Yeah. Bruce Lee was out there fighting, looking for fights. Bruce Lee was looking for fights
For sure.
And I'm sure there's a gang of people out there in Hong Kong who probably whooped Bruce Lee's ass when he was coming up as a youth.
Facts.
Helped to make him the man that he became.
Facts.
But when I look as I listen to that, and then you and I, we're here, and then we get here, and if your experience has been anything like mine, then you learn about things like, the type of corruption that was taking place in some of the monasteries. And you learn the types of things about like how there were these people who were renowned martial artists who they were human, beautifully human.
Yeah.
Which includes, any types of transgressions, some thugging, addiction, whatever.
Everything.
Yeah, everything that humans go through.
For sure.
And so I feel like, yeah, I was definitely, I don't want to say victim, but I do, I remember a time when I looked at coming to China as some sort of place that was going to be, cleansed of those sorts of, or had it figured out how to keep those sorts of things at bay,
No,
and,
no way.
but the medicine bag really taught me, because again, I got here, got the G6PD situation taken care of the first time, came back. Since then, I've been able to, do a lot of things for, got a lot of counseling, continue to get counseling, really put my home life together. Was able to, was able to really, solve a lot of issues around, how to have a healthy domestic existence. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who, of course, there's the sex pats.
Yeah.
And there's the, what are the people who aren't necessarily motivated by health goals. So there's the sex pats. Well, I guess that could be related to, your sexual health. But most of the time, it's just drunkards. Drunkards and child molesters.
Yeah.
So
Some of those.
So it's like, running into people. I didn't really run into too many people who said that they came over here, though, because they had health goals. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm happy to get that part of the medicine bag because I straight up had the health goals, man. And we've been killing it, man. Like, this environment has been absolutely helping me put the smash down on my health goals, yo.
Yeah, man. When I came here, I was working as an intensive in-home counselor, and in Durham, North Carolina. Shouts to the Bull City.
All right.
Shouts to the Bull City. Shouts to Raleigh, Durham. Shouts to Greensboro, North Carolina. All of that. Tobacco Road. And, man.
Plantation.
Right. And when I came here, I had serious compassion fatigue, man. I had been working in the mental health field since I graduated in 2009. So this was like 3 years of like constantly working with, underprivileged, underserved communities. And when you are a member, when you grew up a member of one of those communities, and then you attempt to, work and give back to that, you can feel attached in a way that's not healthy.
Codependency.
You can feel codependent and attached in a way that's not healthy for that type of work. So I was wasn't as disciplined as I wanted to be, and I wasn't as mature as I am now, and I was jaded in a lot of ways and felt like a victim.
That just sound like Twinkies and PlayStation when I hear you say that.
Nah, that was definitely PlayStation. It's probably
because you said you're not as disciplined and not as mature. In my mind, I was like, not as disciplined. Twinkies.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah, that was
all
some Twinkies in there.
No, it's all good. They're not paying us, so we don't have to say that name.
Some substances.
Okay.
Substances going on. Some substance abuse for sure.
Gotcha.
And so coming here,
medicine bag, huh?
I thought it was an opportunity to just get out of that field and like rest my mind and rest my heart.
Good for you.
Yeah, from working.
Congratulations.
So much in that.
Congratulations.
And
I remember we was going through something, and there was times when I would look at you, and the look in your eyes was the eyes of a man who once was immersed in compassion fatigue.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's been times where I feel like I've been able to see if we could say, the scars of that. In general, though, I would say, I love your lifestyle, bro.
Yeah.
But I love this guy's lifestyle. He's a positive motivator. Not exactly to that level, but still.
But when I came here,
it's great, bro.
My brother Douglas Hood, shouts to him.
D Hood.
Shouts to Richmond. D Hood, of course. Real Talk, one of the best rappers I've ever met, will ever know. And
that's his MC name, Real Talk.
Real Talk, yeah, real spit, man. Real Talk.
That's fire. That's a fire MC name right there.
Right, yeah.
That's a fire MC name.
He keeps it up, man. He's him and his lovely wife. Shout to Faye. He got married. Went on for his wedding. Shouts to Richmond, man. Shouts to the 804.
Yo got fire.
Yo got fire. Yo got flame. Real Talk, man.
Real Talk.
So Real Talk put me on to this guy named Earl Purdy, who is a new. He teaches from A Course in Miracles, right?
All right.
And it's kind of like a new thought philosophy about, kind of like a mixture of the law of attraction, a mixture of you're not a victim. You're not a victim, and just taking control of your life. And he's a YouTube teacher. Check his courses out. And I really got on that heavy when I got here my first year, man. And I remember on my dorm room at my first apartment in China, I wrote one of his quotes. It was like, "There's a part of you that doesn't want you to be happy."
There's a part of you that doesn't want you to be happy. Yeah.
And so, man, that was so.
And you got to know how to find that part.
That was so prevalent. You got to expose it.
Yeah.
So you got to find that part inside of you and love that part and learn to love it. And that was the medicine bag for me when I first got here in my first year.
I appreciate your approach because I would have said, find that part of yourself. Smack that part of yourself into submission. Smack him around.
Right.
Push him up against the wall.
You can't
take his lunch money. Take his lunch money, cuh. Take his lunch money.
You can't punish yourself.
Humiliate him.
You cannot. People.
Don't punish yourself.
You cannot punish yourself into correction. You
Hey,
have
check.
to love yourself into correction.
Hey, look, I got some real specific medicine bag questions for you.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite medicinal thing since you've got here? Mine has been wormwood. I love wormwood, y'all. Hey, look into that, everybody. Wormwood.
I'm all about the sexual health, man. So I'm gonna go. I got two. I got the horny goat weed.
Really?
Horny goat weed tea.
You got some?
I don't got none now. And then I'm gonna go.
Dang.
It's not from. Well, horny goat weed is from China.
I've heard of it, but I'm like okay. Horny goat weed.
You can buy horny goat weed at any pharmacy. If you got a traditional Chinese medicine store in your city, there's one in Norfolk, Virginia.
This man is happily married, people.
Yeah, so horny goat weed tea, you just put it in some tea, drink that joint, and you can. It increases your blood flow. There's not a lot of scientific research that supports it, but I've used it. It works. And then another one that I found out when I got here, but it's not from here. It's from Peru.
All right.
Macaroon.
Oh yeah.
All about the macaroon powder.
Yeah.
Got a big bag of that.
Yeah, we call it masa.
Yeah.
But seriously though, for me, I'm gonna tell you
What's
something.
the wormwood though?
The wormwood, man. So you know when
Is it rosewood? Is it rosewood? Wormwood? Rosewood.
You know when you go by the massage places and that smell that's coming out, the sticks that they burn, the mugwort. They call it mugwort.
Okay.
That's wormwood.
Right.
Artemisia absinthium. It's the plant that you make absinthe from. Yeah, that part.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah. And you know what? That thing is the bomb. That thing is incredible. You know, so not only do they use it for the mugwort to, you know, do all types of things with people's, you know, energy and stuff like that. It takes the moisture out. That's what it does. And the elements, the Chinese elements, that one takes the moisture out. But drinking it as a tea, it is crazy for reset. Like if you have gastric issues, drink wormwood tea. Now you can't drink it for too long. You should only drink it for about a week and then take about a week break because it has elements to it that you can't eventually overdose on.
Okay.
Over time. It'll become toxic. But, you know, boom, you drink that joint. I know all types of people. I've told them, hit the wormwood. And
Where you get it?
So those of us who are not in the PRC who are tuning in to the Pass the Bag podcast, first of all, we love you.
Like and subscribe.
That's right. Thank you. We love you.
Comment below
keep doing it.
About your health, your medicine bag tips.
There's pharmacies everywhere here.
Okay.
Last time I went and copped some wormwood, which was about 2 weeks ago. Okay.
No, but where could you get it in the States?
Oh, in the States?
Or in the West?
Believe it or not, if you know what you're looking for, it grows wild like crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I mean, in the West, I feel like you probably would have to go to,
like an Asian,
some type of store where they have herbs.
Right.
Yeah, stuff like that.
A herbalist.
And you know,
those herbs.
In the States, that they have those they're finely tuned machines, profiteering machines. So you might have to come out of pocket for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but eventually you could
hit
grow
the
your
Amazon.
own.
Google it.
Wormwood is also really good for your erection. Yup.
Nice.
Yup.
Is it good for ladies too? Do you know?
I mean, from what I've seen, it's great for ladies. You know, the blood flow is not just for
do
the
your
gentlemen.
thing
It's
and
also
do
for the
my
ladies.
thing.
That's the medicine bag, y'all.
That's the medicine bag. Let us know, like and subscribe, comment below if you have any ideas, or you can email us at passthebagpodcast@gmail.com and let us know what are your tips, especially all of us that's in the PRC. What did you get from here that has been helpful with the health tip?
What's been medicinal for you around here, folks? I'm going to tell you something that's medicinal if you haven't been down to Sanya yet and enjoyed the beautiful beaches.
Yes.
Go do that before the country opens up because we know you're probably going to fly someplace else.
Yeah. Great beaches. You want to get into the next bag?
I love getting into the next bag. Just pass the bag podcast.
Let's get into the next bag.
Man, let's pass it on. We're going to go ahead and swing into the mystery bag. Doom, 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 doom. I wonder. So there's a lot of questions that people have. They always want to know. We touched on it a little bit. Okay, well, why? Why is it China? Or, what was it like? Or what's this like? Or what's that like? And, so mysterious. I don't know if you've become more mysterious to your folks, but I know that, like how they say in the 48 Laws of Power, you use absence to increase your impact, or however that goes. That definitely that mystery is working to our advantage. We think about the question, what do we know about Shenzhen before we came here? And, to what degree did we find those things that we learned to be true or false?
Great question.
What did we know? What did you know, a.black, about Shenzhen before you stepped on the scene?
So I didn't know anything about China at all before I got here. And I was very surprised when I came to Shenzhen so when I got to Beijing, when we was in Beijing for a month, Beijing blew my mind. It's a big place, humongous place. And but then all our coordinators were like, yeah, we're going to Shenzhen. It's a little bit more chill. It's a totally different vibe in the South. And I was like, what's that like? And it was like, in the South.
In the South.
Like in Shenzhen, nobody there. Maybe 10 to 20% of the population is from here, because China is this very ancient old place. It was constantly changing, had all these different dynasties and conquerors and what's the word I'm looking for? Colonizers.
All right.
So it had all of that. So it's been constantly changing, but there have been people living in this country. It's the oldest country in the world, according to certain people. So Shenzhen is only 40 years old, and
let that seep through your head, folks.
It's only 40 years old, and 40 years ago it used to just be a fishing village. We're on the coast, and so
a fishing village.
A fishing village. It was nothing.
A village,
like literally nothing here.
Rice paddies, a couple boats.
Not even that, bro. Where we are now used to be the jungle.
Oh,
Like, used to be jungles leading up to the mountains.
Yeah. Pearl River Delta, it's
and
the Delta.
Flattened out to the ocean. Like,
got you.
Basically it. Like,
I bet you they have some crazy snakes in the
crazy
water.
Snakes, crazy wild animals. That was before.
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle. Yeah. But Deng Xiaoping and the PRC, the government, decided they're going to turn this into a special economic zone, because of its proximity to Hong Kong and Guangzhou. And Guangzhou has always been a major city in the South for a long time, but it was like, all right, we got this space here, we got this opportunity, as China was coming to power, and Shenzhen, was the prime opportunity for that to happen. So on the macro level, that was happening right before either of us got here. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you what I knew.
Yeah.
I knew that this was the Pearl River Delta, and I knew that what that meant was that this city, Shenzhen, was surrounded by a whole bunch of other cities.
Right.
I knew that the Pearl City Delta was just full of cities. Foshan, famous kung fu place, Huizhou, new place, Zhuhai, next to Macau, Guangzhou, like something like 10, almost like 10 cities. Dongguan. And it's even another one, too, that we're not saying right now. I can't remember the name of it.
And it's not even that far from Chaozhou, which is like Chaoshan, Chaozhou.
Yeah, shout out to the Chaozhou folks.
Yeah.
Get money. So the thing is that, for me, I knew, boom, I'm going to the Pearl River Delta. I was excited about that. I was like, Pearl River Delta is some real deal stuff for humanity, where it's really going down over there.
It's going down for real.
That's what I knew. I knew that it was going down, and I was like, "Yo, so much culture over here, so much heritage over here." Plus I had that advantage of having been in Beihai, right?
Right.
And so, also knew that Guangdong was going to be in full effect,
right?
And I knew that it was going to be, some money over here and some opportunity, and I knew that. I didn't know that Shenzhen was gonna be so expensive. That's what I didn't know. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Like, I have money in my bank account right now. Thank goodness.
Thank God.
And there have been times where I was way up here, like way up. All right.
All the way up.
Yeah, there's times here where I was all the way up.
All the way up.
But this
Nothing
is
can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Shenzhen is the most expensive city, and I've read by sources on the internet. This is the most expensive city in the nation, in PRC.
I don't think so.
That's what I've read.
Shanghai is definitely Shanghai and Beijing are more expensive.
I hear you, and at the same time, what can I do? I'm not gonna, I haven't been to those places. All I'm saying is that it's in the conversation.
I would say
If it was
this.
up to me, I went back to the countryside, someplace where I got caked up.
It's easy to spend money here.
Oh yeah, it's some New York City type ish. It's some Manhattan type ish.
Yeah, it's
when
real
you,
easy
when
to
you
spend.
leave the homes. It's $100 for
No,
leaving
you
the
ain't
home.
even gotta leave your house. That's the point.
Look at that.
Everything is so convenient. We'll get into that later when we talk about WeChat Wallet and everything and
Oh,
Taobao.
they make it easy for you to come out your pocket.
They make it easy for you to.
They
come
make it easy and pleasurable
Ulama
for
and
you to come
Meituan
out of your pocket.
Food delivery services, man. You can get anything delivered to you. Never have to leave your house. Anything you want brought to you straight to your door. I didn't know that about Shenzhen, and that changed over time since I've been here. But let me get. You were making a point.
Speak on it.
I just
No. It's all peace. I mean, I'm just saying the things that I knew. Pearl River Delta. I knew it was money over here. I knew this was like that. I heard about Watchon Bay.
Right.
You've heard me in other podcasts talk about it, but seeing it blew my
Fake
brains.
sponsor of the day.
Face sponsor of the day, Watchon Bay. Yeah. Where you can get everything that might not be what you asked for when you bought it, because it could be a knockoff. But it's going to be the best knockoff ever on the planet. I'll tell you that.
Maybe not. You get what you pay for.
All right, cool. Yeah.
That's a lesson in life.
Good things ain't cheap. Cheap things ain't good. Shout out to Watchon Bay.
So to go micro, there was a coordinator in my program. His name was Day. And once he found out that some of us can sing, when we were in Beijing, we were like hang out in somebody's hotel room, a couple of us, and we were singing. And shouts to CC, amazing singer. And she has her own YouTube channel, just about how she sees sounds and things of that nature. And what's the word for people who can see sounds?
Synesthesia.
She's a synesthetic. I don't know how to say it.
Synesthesiac.
She's a synesthesiac, so like she has her own. She did a TED talk about it, so look her up. Sienna Pond's TED talk about synesthesia.
Synesthesia. How about that?
She's great young lady.
Her and Pharrell.
And right, and shouts to VA, shouts to Pharrell. Sorry, a lot of shouts right now. Just you doing it. So anyway, me, CC, a lot of other people.
Yes, sir.
Ian Harity, who had joined the band with, called Dragon Turtle. We'll talk about that a little bit more later.
All right.
Alex Ripley, who he lives in Valencia now. It's my homie out in Valencia, so I'm gonna see him. And maybe once we take the pod on the road for season 3, we can get him in because he's a very knowledgeable guy.
Let's take that bag on the road, y'all.
Let's take the bag on the road. So this is not the end of Pass the Bag. We're going to keep this thing going.
Pass the Bag is going to live forever in the hearts of the people.
Just in case you were wondering.
In the hearts and the minds of the people. Yeah.
Facts.
That's right. We're only just getting started.
So it was maybe 8 of us, and we started a band. And
8-piece band?
An 8-piece band. No, it wasn't an 8-piece band. It was weird. It was like we had like 4 guitar players, and they like all knew a certain amount of songs.
Like
so
the Eagles.
They would just rotate. No, they wouldn't play at the same time.
Oh,
they would just rotate. Like we have like
the
certain
Funk Brothers.
Yeah, so certain people would sing certain songs, and certain people would play with certain musicians.
Right.
And it kind of made practicing easier because you had to balance people's schedules and whatnot. But we would always practice at a beer garden. Shouts to the beer gardens. So that's one thing I knew about Shenzhen. It was like, all right, you can have this spot where you can go, just drink beer and eat barbecue outside, and they were called beer gardens. And you could just see locals get pissy, everybody just get drunk, but it was a great party, great time, just outside, and it was just amazing. So that I knew. And then I knew about this bar called Rapscallions. I found out about it. It was a place that we could get a gig because my coordinator, his name is Day.
All right.
Day used to host like trivia night or salsa night there or something like that, and it was like, yeah, we can get a gig, we can make some money. So I was like, oh shit, like I didn't know that. I hadn't played music. Again, I was working in counseling.
Right.
I hadn't been serious about music. I had my own projects, making beats or whatever, recording my own little albums or whatever with my friends and, trading beats with people. But I hadn't been a professional musician in a long time. And so when I heard about that opportunity, I was like, oh, it's like that. It's like that. So fast forward, to get even more micro about the specific Shenzhen experience, I come to learn later the people that had opened up had created those opportunities. You know, because there's always the forefathers, the forebearers of the movement, and I want to, shout out some of these people.
Like who?
My man Ace is a Filipino guy, and he had a band with another guy named Big Poppa Leon.
Big Poppa Leon. That's a name for you.
And and back then, and shouts to the Mind the Gap guys, and Mark, and everybody at the Terrace, Leon,
the Terrace,
Anto. Those guys have been here, playing for
rough.
tens of years.
They
like
rough,
15,
man.
15 years, 14 years.
They ain't playing. They rough. They tearing it down. They tearing it down 6 nights a week.
Big Poppa Leon, he told me, shouts to him, big brother from the States. He told me that they used to bar hop, like exchange gigs. Like it would be like 3 or 4 bands. They used to get
one of them told me this too.
They used to get not a truck, but a van or whatever, and like they would play a set at a bar. And then they would get in the van and go to another bar and play another set. And, like, all the bands from the different bars were doing that. Like, they was, like, exchanging, like, in the night. So, it'd be, like, 3 different bands going to 3 different bars. Kind of like a pub crawl, but, like, a bar crawl.
Right.
Like, a band bar crawl. So, that
beautiful.
was really cool. And that was something I always wanted to recreate. But I never was able to recreate it. But, there was only but so many bands at that point. Like, maybe... it wasn't a lot of bands like it is, a lot of music going on like it is now. Maybe it was like 2 or 3 venues.
I love this mystery bag right now. Unraveling the mystery of the Shenzhen music magic.
Yeah.
I love this bag. I love your passion.
And so, I want to keep this bag going. So let's. This is going to usher into the bag of gold. That we're going to talk about later, the beginning of the golden era. But also shouts to Shenzhen local music, Rue Moyer. He was producing local events. So there's back then there was 2 areas in the city. There was like Shuko, which is still like the Shuko bubble. Everybody that's here knows about that. And then there was like the Futian scene, which is kind of different, a lot of more DIY. Shuko, they had like venues where you could play for the most part. But Shenzhen, Futian was a little bit more DIY. And this, I'm not an expert in this, so for all y'all that been here,
he's an expert in this.
That know the stories, Big Poppa Leon, Ace.
He's an expert. He's an expert. If it's up to me,
subscribe.
If it's up to me, I'm gonna say you're an expert at this.
So shouts to Shenzhen local music. Shouts to Leon and Ace and the Terrace crew and Mark Buchoy, Mark Goodtrip. Look him up.
See here at Pass the Bag Podcast. We're also documentarists.
Facts.
Documentarians.
So this was
archivists.
Prior to 2012.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into the next bag and talk about Shenzhen from 2012 on.
Yeah, let's continue to make history.
And Shenzhen got here. Pass the bag.
Pass the bag, baby.